Happy Halloween!
And we're back!
Trick or treat. Nice little bowl of M&Ms.
What kind are they?
Peanut butter.
I love peanut butter M&Ms.
Yeah.
I like to stick them in actual peanut butter and add more peanut butter. They're best away. Go! You put Skittles in these!
Do you like fun and adventure? Then sit back and enjoy the Brothers Not Lovers as they discuss all things movies. What's overrated or underrated? What makes you go really? Or how dare you? Or even just simply how funny this movie can be. You have the insightful, intuitive Davey, who is awesome. And you have the film bestie, Josh. He's there. Hi, I'm Davey. And I'm awesome. This is Josh, the film bestie.
And this Manny.
This week we are reviewing one of our favorite slasher films ever.
Showgirls?
No! No. 1,000 times no. We will never be doing Showgirls. And that's not even a slasher film.
Oh, slasher! I thought you said,
Is it a...
Never mind.
No, one of our favorite slasher movies of all time. Some of you who've been watching a long time maybe like, I think you guys already did this. We did, but that was back before we were splitting videos up and before we had any clips. So we're going to do it the right way this time.
That's right. Forrest Gump.
Play with this. This movie was made in 1983, and it was written and directed by Robert Hiltzik, and produced by Jerry Silva and Michelle Tatausen. Made by American Eagle Films, and distributed by United Film Distribution. Ladies and gentlemen, the classic epitome of B-rated alternative cult flicks, Sleepaway Camp. The movie opens with a father and his two kids enjoying a day at the lake.
I did not, you liar! Did not!
Alright, let's settle down and stop fighting.
Ah, siblings. We also see a girl water skiing in the back of a boat, being driven by an idiot.
Hey, Craig, how about letting me take her around on top?
Come on, Marianne, you know I can't do that.
Women drivers. Right? Alright, it's 2021, my bad.
Yeah. The kid driving does not want to lose his job, so of course he says no.
Come on, please.
All right.
Dude, she's not even hot enough, probably not even old enough to lose this job for.
Seriously. Wouldn't risk that job, not unless it was like Jessica Alba.
Or Amanda Seyfried.
Or Gal Gadot.
Or Linnea Quigley.
Or Patricia Heaton.
Or, what? The mom from Everyone Loves Raymond?
Don't you judge me. As John, the father of the two kids, is playing around with the kids in the water, his friend is telling him it's time to go. But the girl driving the boat is driving way too fast.
Way too fast.
And she's not paying any attention.
Goose Fraba.
And the girl water skiing is screaming. They can't turn away from the family in time, and...
Scheduled?
And now it's time for some overacting. They hit the family!
Did anyone survive? Did anyone survive?
Just one of the kids! Only one of the kids survived! Isn't that sad?
It's so Raven!
8 years later...
Oh, they had time to mourn.
We don't want to be late for the boss!
Goodness, no. Now, that wouldn't do at all.
That's Aunt Martha, getting the kids ready to go to camp. She even packed them some snacks. And Richie asks if she packed any chips.
I believe there's a whole bag. Well, I'm almost sure of it.
What the
The hell was that?
She also had something important she needed to tell them. And to make herself remember, she tied a string
Around my finger so I wouldn't forget. See?
I did the same thing.
for what?
To remember, this is the second time we've done this.
It's the redo.
You said do.
What she actually needed to remember was that she had done their physicals for them to get to the camp, but she has to remind them, don't tell them that she's the one that did the physicals for them, because they would not approve.
Even though they know that I am a doctor.
Who the hell would see that crazy doctor?
Oh, you have a hernia. We should take that out immediately.
Leave it in!
Take good care of my little girl, Richard.
The girl is Angela. She's the sibling that survived. She's played by Felissa Rose.
I want to say, but not for that age.
No.
She gets, later in life.
Later, yes.
Much later.
Like, yeah. She's gotten older. This was in 83. She was 13. But later, definitely.
She became a MILF.
At the summer camp, all the kids are arriving, and watching this is the cooks, checking out all the young girls.
There ain't no such thing as being too young. You're just too old.
Oh, he's a pedophile. That's so funny. What the hell is wrong with you? That's not funny. You don't giggle to that.
Sorry, too much Family Guy. Seriously though, how did he get that job?
It was the 80s. They didn't really look into that stuff all that much. Like, seriously, the interview process was probably like, okay, Artie, looks like you're applying to be the new cook.
Yes, I am. Applying for the cook.
So we got your background check around here. Seems that you've served time for molesting children.
I heard things.
But looks like your walk-in inventories were always spot on, so fair warning, you're working at a camp. There are going to be children here. So if I hear of any foul play, you're going to be suspended for 3 days with no pay.
You talking to me?
Talking to you.
You talking to me?
Talking to you.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Little bit.
Ricky runs into his friend Paul.
Wait till you get a load of Judy. Man, oh man.
To be fair, Paul is 15. He's just a pervert.
I'm not.
Angela makes her way to her cabin, and there she meets Judy.
What are you looking at?
Whoa, look at the... No, never mind. 15. Sorry.
Judy is
Bitch!
I was gonna say mean girl, but yeah.
I'll tell you one thing about her. She is not fetch.
Angela is very awkward and shy.
I can relate.
We both can.
That's so fetch.
Looks like we got a real winner here.
That's one of the counselors, Meg.
M-E-G.
Thanks. Her and Judy are the mean girls already hating on Angela. Funny enough, behind the scenes while filming, those three actresses were actually like the best of friends, very cliquey.
Yeah, brunettes always stick together.
Angela isn't eating much, so the head counselor, Ronnie, comes over.
Tell you what, how about if you and me take a walk into the kitchen, see if we can find you something you like?
He's a nice guy.
Nice. We wouldn't, kill him to wear something from the men's aisle.
That's just how guys dressed in the 80s.
Like girls.
Angela goes and meets Artie, the head cook.
Well, hello there, Angela.
Yeah, that look should tell you everything you need to know. So, after meeting Artie, Ronnie leaves her with Artie.
Dumbass.
And Artie takes her into the walk-in.
Oh, God, no.
But luckily, Ricky comes in looking for Angela.
Hey, what are you doing?
What? Oh, nothing? What?
Nowadays, for this incident, Artie would have been fired, maybe even arrested. But this was the 80s.
Attempted assault on a minor is a crime in 1983. You'll do days for this.
After threatening Ricky not to tell anybody, it's time to make dinner. And part of dinner is he's got to boil a lot of corn. To do this, instead of getting a bunch of pots on a bunch of burners, they have this one giant friggin' pot.
It's a lot of corn.
And to get to the top of it, he has to get on a chair. Just then, one of the campers starts pulling on it. Do they even make pots that big?
I hope.
Pots. As in, cooking pots. Not what you're thinking.
I don't know.
And this leads to... You know, I must have seen this scene like 1,000 times.
And it's still funny.
Yeah. And then he became the Toxic Avenger.
Dude, is that how it started?
No, he just probably died.
Dude, this is crazier than Doctor Who. It's so wacky.
Okay. I guess you're not sober anymore. They call an ambulance to take him away, and a doctor comes and gives his diagnosis.
Well, he's badly burned all over.
Well, thank God they called you.
I need a doctor. I'm hurting everywhere.
What do you mean?
I touch myself here. Ow! It hurts. Touch myself here. Ow! It hurts.
Touch my arm real quick.
Ow!
You have a broken finger, you idiot. The camp owner, Mel, tells Ronnie to keep it quiet.
Because I don't want the kids or their parents to know that this ever happened, you understand?
Yeah, that's what you should be worried about. The next night, everyone is in the rec room, including Angela.
Man, I've been watching her all week.
Apparently, part of the audition process to be Angela, Robert Hiltzig made the girls do that wide stare while pretending to eat a candy bar. Apparently, Felissa Rose pretended to eat a candy bar the best. A couple of guys come over to talk to Angela and invite her to come hang out with them afterwards.
What's the matter? Can't you talk?
And then just... Josh.
Huh?
You okay?
Why?
Because she's not responding to them, the boys then start to pick on her. So this leads to...
Leave her alone. Oh yeah? What are you gonna do about it?
And this leads to... Dog pile! After the fight breaks up, Ricky is taken away, and Paul comes over to talk to Angela. And he has a nice heartfelt chat with her.
Yeah, well, she just stares at him.
Yeah, but when Paul's bunk counselor comes to tell him it's time to leave...
Good night.
Aww. Then we go to a bunch of guys outside trying to convince the girls to go skinny dipping with them. But the girls all say no.
The hell with you then!
Yeah, I think that if I was in a situation where the only ones going skinny dipping were me and a bunch of dudes, I'd be the one saying to hell with it.
Don't worry. She won't let us down. Right, baby? Hey, don't lift your skirt. You want to blow the rating on this thing?
One of the boys, Kenny...
Lindsay?
Author of the Gavin English series and the River Runes, available at kenlindsaybooks.com. No.
Not the author of the Gavin English series? And the River Ruins? Available at kenlindsaybooks.com?
No, not that one. Gets one of the girls to go on a canoe ride with him, until he decides to be stupid and tip the canoe over on purpose. She gets angry and swims away.
What the hell are you doing here?
This. The next morning, one of the counselors finds the canoe.
Cheap son of a...
And a snack.
Hey, Bobbery Bob.
They call an ambulance. The doctor doesn't come this time, but the cop that comes makes the same conclusion the doctor would have.
As far as I can tell, the boy drowned.
Man, he should really be a detective.
He decomposed pretty fast for such a short time, though.
It was the snack. Mel is trying to say that it must have been an accident, but Ronnie disagrees.
I don't know,
It was an accident!
You're freaking sued! But Ronnie still has his doubts.
I was just thinking, I remember that boy being a pretty damn good swimmer.
Okay, I get Ronnie's suspicions, but seriously, just because you're a good swimmer doesn't mean you can't drown. I mean, good swimmers drown all the time.
Yeah. Artie was a good cook. Look what happened to him. In fact, some people even said he was an excellent mall Santa.
Paul goes over to talk to Angela while the other girls are playing volleyball.
Aww.
But Judy has a problem with the fact that Angela gets to sit out and talk to the boys all day while she has to play volleyball.
Because that's all she'd do is talk, Judy.
What's she? Special?
You have no idea.
Meg, though, breaks it up.
If you're not going to participate in our activities, then you just sit there and you do nothing.
Leave Angela alone.
That night, Paul makes a move.
I better go in.
Strike!
The next day, during swim time, Angela doesn't want to participate.
Of course.
And Meg wants to know why.
Answer me, Angela! Answer me!
Shut up, Meg.
Luckily, Ronnie steps in.
Meg, I want to see you in my shack right after swim period. Now get back to your post.
If this were a real camp, she'd probably be fired.
There's a reason. There's a reason she doesn't get fired.
We'll get there. Back at the cabin, Judy is mad at Angela for Meg getting into trouble.
How come you never take showers when the rest of us do? You queer or something?
Before any of you get triggered, remember this was 1983.
She takes showers when no one can see. She has no hair down below.
Again, 1983.
She's a real carpenter's dream. The light is a board and needs a screw.
1983!
Angela goes to see Ricky.
Does Ricky have anything to say about this?
Nothing I can air.
Man, he just spent his whole allowance in the swear jar.
Mel breaks it up, and later, Billy, the head bully, goes to take a poop.
Get that thing out of here! Come on, get it out! Come on, get it out!
This scene is too graphic for me to put on there. Like, seriously, a couple of channels have had their reviews of this taken down just because of this one scene. So I can only describe it. He freaks out, and it covers his whole face. Last time, to act it out, we added this.
Not the bees! Ah!
But we figured this time, it's been over a year, we've gotten better. This is the redo, so here you go.
What is that? What is that? Not the bees! Not the bees! Ah! My eyes! Ah! Ah!
Mel is upset.
That's all there is to it. Finished. Wiped out.
Pretty much, dude, yeah. But Ronnie thinks this is a coincidence.
Yeah. Sort of thing happens every year.
But some of the campers are convinced that there's a killer on the loose.
Boo! Scared you, huh?
I thought you were the killer.
Her and Paul run off to frolic. She's lightened up a little bit. While kissing, though, Angela starts to have flashbacks to her dad and his friend.
Ew!
Dude!
What?
I know this was filmed in 1983, but it's 2021 now.
Oh man, not that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's just, look at them. They got the 70s thing going on. They're so hairy. It's like Ron Jeremy on top of a shaggy dog.
And she also remembers she thinking back to, stop it. So the pointing thing was a little weird. It's a scene that they threw in there for no, stop it! And it was just really unexpected and unexplained. Stop it!
No!
Strike two, you're out.
Dude, do you know anything about baseball?
No. Take me out for the hot dogs. Take me out for pork rinds. Football.
The next day, the campers are all playing Capture the Flag.
Paul and Judy aren't.
Angela!
Later, Paul is trying to apologize.
I don't know what happened.
You don't know what happened? A sluttier girl with bigger boobs came onto you. End of story. And then Judy comes along.
Back together so soon?
This leads to the absolute creepiest part of the movie.
What's the matter? You afraid? Huh?
Meg comes along and her and Judy decide to pick up Angela and go throw her in the water. Ricky tries to help, but Mel is holding him back.
I saw you those times. In a rec room at the water fight, you killed them.
Mel thinks that Ricky is the killer. I mean, it is building him up to be.
I think it's more complex than that, Davey.
More complex than that.
To understand who Ricky the Killer is, you gotta remember who Ricky the Killer was. See, Ricky was born to a crazy bitch of a mother named Martha, who wore a string on her fingers, and she was ashamed. So then he met this guy, Ron Leibowitz, who taught him to be a prize fighter. And then one day he realizes he's good, he is damn good. But then he's got to face his own brother. And he's like, I can't face Nails, he's my brother. But he faced him anyway. And then Ricky killed Nails. And he's like, I'm out. And he's no longer in the fighting game. He's going to go to summer camp. Then he starts smoking up all this weed and all this crack. And then he goes out of control and his heart stops. Ricky, the camper, died.
That's half-baked.
What are we watching?
Angela goes into the water.
Angela!
And Ricky comes to her rescue.
You won't let them get away with this, that's for sure.
That night, Ronnie starts announcing who's got to work that night and who gets the night off. And Meg has the night off.
Remember that dinner you promised me? Up at your place?
Ew!
Ew.
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 What, does she have a dad complex?
Elsa Jean up in here. She's definitely got a thing for grandpas.
Got me a date tonight.
Oh yeah? With who?
With someone who sits on the toilet and tells you how cold the water is.
With somebody who remembers the first phone number was 1.
With somebody who can't buy an ice cream without telling you it used to cost a nickel.
A man who remembers every survivor from the Titanic.
A man who used to look at the Amish and go like, wow, they're ahead of the times.
A man who got detention in high school for doing that provocative new dance called the Charleston.
Someone who pees dust.
For someone whose first legal vote was for Grover Cleveland.
One more old joke each? Okay.
Yay!
Somebody a week ago wasn't telling Meg he was going to go on a date with her, but was telling her to stay off his lawn.
Someone who, when he was a teenager, cars were called carriages.
He's freaking old. Meg goes to shower for her date.
Why? So she could smell like Love's Baby Soft?
He'll smell like Bengay. Well, the date's off.
Make sure you clean that night.
Close enough. Paul makes another plea for Angela to forgive him.
Meet me at the waterfront after the social.
Home run, score, touchdown from the 3-point line. Yeah. Way to go, Pele.
You have no idea what you just said at all, do you?
No, I don't.
Since Meg was a no-show, Mel goes looking for her.
Have you seen Meg anywhere?
She's off tonight now.
Yeah, I know. She was supposed to meet me about an hour ago.
Aw, he wore his best lime green slacks for this.
Eventually, though, Mel does find her.
Oh my God.
Interesting. She's been in there a couple of hours, but she just happens to fall out at that moment.
Dude, you mind? He's trying to monologue.
Gotta stop him. Won't get away, Rag.
Then we head over to Judy, who's curling her hair.
What do you want? Well?
They take the hot curling iron and they shove it up her,
Hoo-ah!
And that's how she got the nickname Hot Pants. Apparently, though, she did not die. 30 years later, Robert Hiltzig wrote and directed a short film called Judy, starring the original actress, Karen Fields. You should find it. It's right here on the YouTubes.
The YouTubes.
However, in the original script, she did die, and they even filmed a scene with her dead body, but apparently in the final cut, Robert Hiltzig decided that the scene was too grisly.
That's grisly. We got a guy who's burned all over. We got a snake coming out of a camper's mouth. Bees covering another guy's face. This was grisly.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, all that stuff in this movie, but that couldn't make the final cut. How bad was it? So because of this, Mel goes and confronts Ricky.
I killed that penny of Billy, just like you left me!
Dude!
Hey man, his business is gone. He's about to get sued into the poorhouse, and the hottest piece he's ever going to get in this world is dead. Let him have it.
Yeah, I guess I'd go crazy too.
Yeah.
After he beats up Ricky to the point he's unconscious...
It can't be!
Guess Ricky's not the killer. It's now time for Paul and Angela to meet up. Angela wants to go swimming.
What about our clothes?
Take them off.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, just wait. They call the police, and the police officer who earlier had a clear mustache finds her. You may not have the looks,
You may not have the cash.
but you'll always get the girly if you only got a mustache. A mustache, a mustache, if you only got a mustache. A mustache, a mustache, if you only got a mustache. A couple of counselors show up and see.
Angela! Are you okay?
Now, at this point, while watching the movie with my wife, she started going on and on like, I knew it was Angela the whole time, da-da-da. So, if you don't mind, for the rest of this, I'm going to act out my wife and I watching this movie. Angela starts flashing back to when she first went to live with Aunt Martha.
You see, I've always wanted a little girl.
I told you it was Angela. I told you. I told you from the very beginning. It was Angela.
I mean, we already have a boy, so another one simply would not do.
I wasn't surprised. I told you it was Angela. I told you the whole time. I watch a lot of horror movies. I can tell these things.
I know you're going to like that name. Won't you, Peter?
Peter?
God, she's a boy.
That's a penis! That was a penis! So there you have it. That's the cult classic, Sleepaway Camp. This movie has become a success though. It was made with a $350,000 budget and has since grossed $11 million. So, success!
I mean, it only took like almost 40 years.
Yeah.
It's 38 years old.
Yeah. It actually started getting the big cult fame about 20 years after its release. See, apparently, it started with a clip on Robot Chicken.
I remember when I saw that clip, man, I was like, thank God! I remember the first time I ever saw this movie. I was 14 years old, so innocent, so young, lithe, and so beautiful. Shut up. I went to the video store back when it was Hollywood Video. They were doing rent 5 old movies, $5, 5 days.
I miss those
I
days.
really wanted to see this because the sequel, the box, had the Freddy glove and the mask and it looked so cool, but you can't see the sequel first. It changed my life, mijo. It changed my life. And I never looked back. Say hello to my little friend.
But back to, the story. I remember when the Robot Chicken episode came out, of course, I was watching it with you and you were freaking out because somebody else knew about the movie.
I really was.
And I'm sitting there like with a blank look on my face and you had to explain it to me. So, sadly, when I finally did sit down and watch this movie, I wasn't shocked by the ending. It had been spoiled for me. Which is why I like to act out my wife's reaction, because it was freaking great. She had no clue what was coming.
See that, nerds? He watched it even though it got a big spoiler. You could still enjoy the movie.
Oh, it was still good.
Shut up about the spoiler alerts.
Well, again, if you don't want it spoiled, don't watch a critic talk about it, but still.
Well, that too.
You know, I already knew the ending, but like watching it, I was like, man, this is really well done. And it really was. Like, okay, the acting wasn't the best, but you want to know what I like about the acting? They got all age-appropriate people to do the movie. So kids. Most of the cast were kids.
Except Ricky. He was 18 years old and he looked 12.
Right. Still kind of looks 12. But most of the cast, like Felissa Rose was 13, Karen Fields was 15. Kids are not as good as actors as adults because they don't have as much experience. And that was actually very unusual to do back then. Back then, it was all about, these are horror movies, the content we're going to show, we got to just get like 18 and older actors who look young to play these parts. But Robert Hiltzig was very like, no, it's about kids at summer camp. I want kids to play these parts.
This is why you had 30-year-olds like Kevin Bacon.
Right.
Freaking Jamie Lee Curtis.
Right.
Playing teenagers.
And I get why, because when it comes to horror movies, people get mad because there's a lot of violence, and often in these movies there's a lot of nudity. Not this one. Like, the end scene was pretty much the only nudity. This movie did eventually gain a big cult following, had a few sequels, then got a final sequel that ignored the other sequels.
Now they're talking about a remake. For the love of God, don't.
Don't.
Please.
Don't.
Please, just do another sequel. Anything, just don't do a remake.
Don't
do it.
Don't do a remake.
Do a remake and you will lose fans. A lot of us will walk away.
What's even great about this is I always love when you can tell that this was something that somebody just basically put it all out there to make a piece of art the way they wanted to make it. For example, Robert Hiltzig. Apparently, the bulk of the budget of this movie was an inheritance he got from his mother and her passing away. At the very beginning of this movie, he puts in memory of his mother because when she died, she left him money and he used most of it to make this movie. It's just, again, it's that whole feel-good story of a guy who just wanted to create something so bad that he was willing to go all out. Because he spent all of his inheritance and then some to do this. Because making movies is not cheap.
I mean, look at our budget.
We don't have one.
Exactly.
Did you see the Not the Bees thing? We still have no budget.
We have $10.
That we borrowed.
You know, it's kind of messed up. The guy was homeless and he loaned us $10.
What's even more messed up is he's never getting paid back.
Right.
There's even things like they did film things with the actor who played Ricky's body in there just in case they couldn't get the movie released because of it being 13-year-old Felissa Rose. They had it in there that, yeah, Ricky was going to be the killer. Like, there's a scene of a silhouette of Angela at the door, but you can clearly see that it's Ricky wearing a wig.
Oh, yeah.
So they did that just in case they had to end it with Ricky being the killer instead of Angela because of her age. Another thing I will say, this movie sparked a little bit of controversy. Some people think that this is a very pro-transgender movie. Some people think it's anti. It's neither, guys. It's just the story of somebody who went nuts.
It's about parental abuse, okay? The guardian was abusive and destroyed this kid's brain.
Well, yeah.
It has nothing to do with the rest of that.
Right, because think about this. And some of the people do complain like, oh, they're saying transgender people are crazy. No. They're saying that a kid who lost his sibling and father in one fell swoop, got a brain injury, obviously, because you saw the bandages around his head. God knows where his mother was. She obviously wasn't in the picture at all. I don't know if she died or if she left him. Probably left him because apparently the father was gay. And then goes to live with this ridiculously crazy woman who makes him pretend that he's a girl for the rest of his life. You're probably going to go a little crazy.
Moral of the story, women should not be raising children.
No.
Oh, wait. No?
No, maybe crazy women shouldn't be raising children.
Crazy people.
To sum it all up, this is honestly one of my favorite movies Probably ever. Like, if I ever did make a top 10 list of my favorite movies of all time, I'd probably have to put Sleepaway Camp on there somewhere.
For me, it goes number 2.
It is a fantastic movie, and if you haven't seen it, it's not hard to find. Go watch it. So there you have it. That's our Sleepaway Camp redid. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit that little bell so you get notifications for when I post new videos, and leave a comment. Tell us what you thought of Sleepaway Camp, and
Isn't she a peach?
love you guys.